Tiger Woods was once asked if he ever tried to emulate Annika Sorenstam's game, and his answer was simple, honest, and probably the best compliment he could have given her.
You ever emulate Annika?
If I could hit it that straight, man.
That one line says a lot, because even Tiger, one of the most complete players golf has ever seen, could look at Annika's game and admire just how controlled it was. And when players talk about her now, whether it's legends from her era or stars playing today, the tone is almost always the same. It's real respect. The thing people always come back to with Annika is control. She was not the kind of player who needed everything to feel perfect to compete. Her strength was that she could show up again and again and produce the same high-level golf. David Duval once summed it up in a very simple way. "I wish I could hit the ball that straight. It's impressive." That's coming from a player who reached world number one himself. Annika Sorenstam is someone who kept stacking results for years. 72 LPGA Tour wins, of 10 major championships, more than 90 professional wins worldwide. But if there was one moment that made Annika a global sports story, it came in 2003 at Colonial. That was when she played on the PGA Tour with the men. And the important thing is that Annika did not treat it like some loud publicity stunt. She simply wanted to test herself at the highest possible level. But once she accepted that invitation, the conversation became much bigger than one tournament. Suddenly, everyone was talking about a woman competing with men. Everyone had an opinion. Some people supported it. Some people were uncomfortable with it. And Phil Mickelson had one of the clearest responses. He said, "Guys who are having a tough time with this are thinking this is the men's tour. It's not. It's the best tour, for the best players." That was a great way to put it, because it shifted the conversation away from insecurity and back to golf. Annika had earned the right to play at the PGA Tour, and after the tournament, Jesper Parnevik gave her a nickname that captured her game perfectly. She played amazing. I guess we have the Shark, the Tiger, and now we have the Superwoman. Even players from the LPGA have spoken about that impact very directly. Christy Kerr explained why that week mattered beyond Annika herself. She said, "It certainly brought a lot of visibility. It helped the LPGA get some more national TV presence at the time, and that's something that all the players will remember." That is probably the simplest way to understand it. The Colonial appearance did not suddenly solve every problem for women's golf, but it did put the LPGA in front of a much bigger audience. And for the players who were there at the time, that mattered. Brittany Lincecum has also said she remembers watching it and thinking how brave it was, especially because of the attention and criticism Annika had to face. One of the strongest compliments Annika ever received came from Laura Davies. This is what she said, "Because if she was a man, she would be Tiger. The way she dominates us is better than anyone has ever dominated any other field over the same period of time." That is a huge statement. But Davies was not just talking about talent, she was talking about the feeling Annika created in the field. When Annika was at her best, it often felt like everyone else was trying to keep up with a player who was already 2 or 3 steps ahead. She was not the loudest personality. She was not trying to intimidate anyone with words, but her golf did that on its own. Another part of Annika's story that makes her so interesting is the way she stepped away from the game. She retired from full-time competitive golf while she was still playing at an extremely high level. And that is not easy to do. Jack Nicklaus spoke about that with a lot of respect. He talked about her career, her greatness, and the decision to walk away when she felt it was the right time.
Well, Annika's been obviously, I'm not criticizing Annika, but I think if Annika kept playing, there would be no question that when the records are all done, that she'll be known as the best woman player that's ever played. And she still may be, even as she is today, that's arguably that situation. I think that I've respected Annika's game and the way she handles her life, and I respect very much the decision she made when she retired from tournament golf. I think that's she decided there was other things in life besides just hitting a golf ball. She wanted to raise a family, and she wanted to grow the game of golf. She wanted to have some charity work and some things that she could give back. And I think that's fantastic. And
that kind of respect means a lot coming from Nicklaus. Now, one of the clearest signs of Annika's legacy is that it did not end with her own generation. Today's players still talk about her as someone who helped shape the path they are walking on now. Nelly Korda has said Annika is one of the players she and so many others looked up to. She also talked about how legends like Annika helped grow the women's game.
I mean, Annika is someone that I've looked up to and so many other people have looked up to. She is a driving force in our game, so having her out here, playing in front of her and having her name on the tournament just makes it so much sweeter to win it. But also, I think it just grows the game because you have all the legends coming back trying to grow it as well, and I feel like that's the great thing about golf is that everyone's involved and everyone's a family.
That is the kind of influence that lasts. It is not just about records. It is about what younger players believe is possible because they saw someone else do it first. Inbee Park also made that very clear when she won the Rolex Annika Major Award. She says, "Annika is a legendary player. She's my idol. It feels a great honor to put my name on that award." Rose Zhang has also spoken about advice she received from Annika, including the reminder to smell the roses.
It's honestly incredible to come here and play Annika's event as a professional. I think the first time that I really got to meet her was at the Junior ANA Inspiration, and I got to do a one-on-one interview with her when I think I was 14, and I think that moment I asked her a question of, how do you really enjoy the game and how do you make sure that it doesn't keep up with you or doesn't tear you down? And Annika just said, smell the roses. Like, she wished she did that more in her 82 win streak and everything that she's accomplished. But to come back and see how she has provided a route for every single pathway, not only as a junior, as a college player, but now as a professional, it's honestly really astounding.
And maybe the best place to end is with Lydia Ko, because Lydia describes being paired with Annika as a dream come true. But what stands out most is what she says about Annika's drive. Even after everything Annika has already achieved, Lydia talks about how she still practices, still competes, and still cares deeply about the game.
To, especially be alongside Annika, I think I played with her in tournament for the first time last year here, and I was really nervous. Growing up, she was literally the name that you saw every week, and unfortunately, I wasn't on tour yet when she was ending her career. So to even have this kind of opportunity to compete alongside her is honestly a dream come true. When I think of my retirement down the line, I don't think I'm touching my golf clubs unless I really have to. But Annika's out here, practicing a lot, especially, with her son Will, out here practicing. So it's pretty cool that, even after all this time, the drive that she has to still want to win and compete at a high level. And I think that's why she's had the career that she has. People like that are different. And to be alongside greatness is always really inspiring. And, it's really cool to just even hit balls next to her, because when I was in my teens, I would have never imagined a moment like this,
And that is probably the simplest way to understand Annika Sorenstam. It was never just about the trophies. It was the discipline behind them, the focus, the consistency, the standard she set for herself. Years later, that standard is still high enough that even the best players in the world talk about it with admiration.